Hello everybody, good morning. Hôm nay là ngày 14 tháng 11 2023. Giờ mình đang có mặt ở tại County of Alameda Administration Building. Anh Tuấn có mặt đây sáng sớm lắm, chuẩn bị set up cái table. Đây. Tuấn already hard at work. All right, we'll have to stop here.
Oh, he might have it. Do you have a petition? Yeah. Oh, he has a petition.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'll let you guys set up and I'll come right back down. All right, so I'll be down.
I'm Edward. Nice to meet you.
I mean, you're talking about the recall, right?
Well, yeah, because we're doing a press conference. Did you come for that, or you
Yes,
just?
no. I was.
Yeah.
Someone about disabled persons. That's just said.
Okay. Everybody here. I got the microphone. Right?
Thank
Yeah,
you, man.
you're welcome.
You're gonna be up front then to grab that.
Yeah.
If you want to take a picture when you can of all of us.
Yeah.
Once we get settled with the signs.
Good morning, everyone. Board of Supervisors regular meeting, November the 14th. It's session. Speakers joining the meeting for the entire conference, please unmute your mic. Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Howard.
Present.
Supervisor Marquez. Present. Supervisor Jam. Present. Supervisor Carson, excused. President Hartley.
Present. Everyone join me in the pledge of allegiance. Board of Supervisors welcome you to its meetings. Board allows the person with no participation, participation in the most Republic of the people, County of Alameda, recognizes the importance of the role of public participation in government. Being reminded that disruptive conduct and members poorly conduct the meeting or teachable will not be tolerated. This includes disruptive conduct that may occur in public. Chair will order the removal of individuals who are willfully disrupting the meeting so that the meeting will continue in an orderly manner. For those attending the meeting in person, if you would like to speak to an item on the agenda or during public comment, please submit a speaker comment to the clerk so your name can be called to speak at the appropriate place on the agenda. The clerk will now provide brief instructions on how to verbally participate in public comment through online comments.
Detailed instructions are provided in the teleconferencing guidelines. A link to the document is included in today's agenda. If you are joining the meeting using a computer, use the button at the bottom of your screen to raise your hand to request to speak. When called to speak, please unmute your microphone and state your name. calling in, dial *9 to raise your hand to speak. When you are called to speak, the host will enable you to speak. If you decide not to speak, notify the clerk when your call is unmuted, or you may simply hang up and dial back into the meeting. As a reminder, you may always just observe the meeting without participating by clicking on the View Now link on the county's webpage at acgov.org. When called, you will have 2 minutes to speak. Please limit your remarks to the time allocated. Public comment will generally alternate between in-person and online speakers as determined by the president of the board, and subject to overall time. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have the board remarks at this point in time. Last board members, if they'd like to make remarks in remembrance of Veterans Day. We did meet last Tuesday, November 7th, Veterans Day occurred on November the 11th. So you have some comments to make, but I'll give the colleagues who are making comments before I do. So I'll start with Supervisor, I don't know. He's been away so long. I forgot who he is. The Sundance Kid.
Okay, well, I would just want to thank all of our veterans. Most people know I was born on a military base in Germany. My father is a veteran of foreign wars, and many of my family members served. I did not, but I know the cost that it takes on veterans. And we know that freedom is not free, and it's often paid for with the blood, sweat, and tears of our veterans. So my deepest gratitude to all veterans. I'll also further remark that this last week, 2 weeks ago, I was honored to be able to honor a 103-year-old veteran pilot who flew for the famous Flying Tigers. This was Harry Moyer, honored at our U.S. Embassy in Beijing, China. A 103-year-old pilot that they devoted a museum to in his honor. He flew for the Flying Tigers 80 years ago. At the same trip, I was honored to support the Bay Area Council's California Pavilion, which is at the Shanghai Expo. The California Pavilion showcases agricultural products around the state of California. And so, while we didn't have a meeting last week, I was busy honoring veterans and supporting Californians. Thank you, President Miley, for giving me a chance to honor our veterans.
Is that your facility or AB 023?
I don't think I'm required to because of no county funds involved, but I thought I would just mention it.
Yeah, very good. Supervisor Marquez?
Yes, thank you, President Riley. Just wanted to share, last Friday we honored veterans. We held the Richard Ryan Memorial Luncheon, which was co-hosted by my office as well as Supervisor Hubbard's. It was held at the Veterans Memorial Hall at Green Giles. And we had an amazing keynote speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Marisol H. Chavez from Camp Parks. She provided a very moving speech, and she was actually the first Latina aviation Black Hawk pilot. We had nearly 100 guests. The veterans really enjoyed the luncheon and just being in community. So I wanted to uplift that amazing work that my team helped put on, and it was really important to honor veterans and thank them for their service. So thank you for the opportunity to do so.
Supervisor Mia?
Thank you, President Miley. I also want to express my appreciation to the veterans for their service and their sacrifice. I grew up in a military family on the Naval Air Station in Alameda, and so Veterans Day had a very special meeting in our family, and I wanted to acknowledge that we had several celebrations in our city, and we get reminded that the reason we are all here and we can say what we want to say is because of the veterans that have made those sacrifices to protect our democracy and our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, just a few States often we get confused about the difference between Veterans Day and Memorial Day. Veterans Day is distinct from Memorial Day because Veterans Day honors veterans who have served, and Memorial Day honors those who died while military service. And two, as all know, veteran events. Veterans event on Friday the 11th, Friday the 5th, and I also attended the Veterans Trial Parade in Pleasanton on Sunday, as well as the on Saturday, the Veterans Memorial in Castro Valley. And so we definitely want to take our hands off and honor those who served military this country and sacrificed so much to give us much, as well as their families. So if there are no other board comments or remarks this time, King County Council, do you have something you'd like to say to us?
Thank you, President Miley. I'd like to make a request of your board that you allow me to add an item to your board's agenda. In order for you to do that, it requires two findings, essentially. The first is the letter concerns a threat of the issue concerns a threat of litigation that was received too late to allow it to be posted and be part of the published agenda. So that's why I'm asking that it be added. It's a letter from the law offices of Jason A. Dezens dated November 13th, and it is concerning items 18 and 19 on your board's agenda today. And the letter is designated opposition to proposed amendments of County Charter Section 62 recall. The letter details concerns they have about the proposed action and the board letters that are before you and the frequently asked questions that have been prepared. But the letter closes with the statement that in the past, the Alameda County Taxpayers Association has litigated the compliance of ballot questions with Elections Code Sections 9190 and 13119. C. E.G. Crawley, that I'll be pleased. Alameda County Superior Court case number RG 200700680 concerning the November 2020 Measure W sales tax increased ballot question. ACTA is prepared to so again with this county charter amendment. Your board should deem this communication to be a pre-litigation demand. Through this demand, ACTA is attempting to settle the litigation prior to filing a lawsuit consistent with Vasquez v. State of California. Based on this threat of litigation that we just received and the credible threat that ACTA will sue, without them having provided us any information as to when they're going to provide that, to prepare that lawsuit, but alleging that they have an interest in settling, I believe that your board should make the finding that we need to take immediate action and discuss this action in closed session today, so that we can have some discussion with respect to the settlement, that their attempt to settle obligation before any lawsuit is filed. And so that is, I'd like to find that this came to the attention of the body after the agenda was posted, and there's a need to discuss it today.
All right, so in order to do that, to have a motion from the board that this came to our attention.
So I'm prepared to make a motion, and you can just say so moved if someone would like to make that motion.
All right, good.
So I would ask that your board move that this item, make a motion or move that this item is not on your agenda today, but that we just learned about this item, this threat of litigation yesterday. And we weren't given a timetable, so we don't know how long we have to settle it before they might file. So there's a need for us to discuss it in closed session today.
I will move that.
Do we need to take a comment on this motion before we vote?
Yes,
So we public comment just on this motion.
just on this motion.
Okay, so public comment just on the motion
floor. I believe this may affect the Office of District Attorney. Is it possible for us to receive a copy of that letter?
Copies of the letter are available, I believe, in the back of the chamber.
Thank you. And what would be the proper procedure to give input prior to a decision being made on this correspondence?
So, you have the opportunity to make public comment before we go into closed session today.
Okay, but if we get the letter today, we need to make a recommendation today prior to you going into closed session?
Yes.
Okay, would we need to fill out another speaker card, and then I guess after all of the individuals speak after them?
You could do that.
Okay,
But as stated, the matter just came to the attention of the county yesterday.
I understand. Thank you.
And I'm doing speakers, I wanted to speak on the side, so if you're speaking to the chamber, please have, just come, speak the card, or raise your hand. 1 minute. Just on this motion.
And just for clarification, so this motion is basically to allow us to add it to today's agenda. If the board votes to add it to today's agenda, now it's on the agenda, and when the supervisor opens public comment on items on the agenda, then if individuals want to comment on this item, the substance of this item, they may do that.
Okay, so procedurally, hopefully everyone understands that all we're gonna do at the moment, but the motion is vote, rather than put it on the agenda. So any other speakers on the motion? I see one hand.
Kathy, you're on the line, you have 1 minute to speak. You understand this is just added to the agenda?
I do understand that, and I'm listening to what y'all say, but I was trying to keep my place in line to make comments about other agenda items. So help me with the technicalities and logistics for that, please.
So you will stay on the line and we'll get to the other items for you to speak.
Okay, thank you.
John, you're on the line?
Yes, regarding the, putting this on the agenda, I have read that document, and I do agree with just about everything there. So I do believe that the time is of the essence. I do agree with county council that you take this up right away. So I urge you to put it on the agenda. Thank you.
All right, no more speakers, okay. That is before us, let's work with that comments. Have a roll.
Supervisor Howard? Supervisor Marquez? Aye. Supervisor Tam?
Aye.
Supervisor Carson, excuse, President Myers?
Items we add to the agenda, is this a closed session?
Yes, it's added to the closed session.
Okay, very good. All right, so speakers can speak on this item as well. It's a closed session item. So now, let me see, public comments on items listed as 11 o'clock will be taken after the item is called the presentation and discussion. And that's the first one we have. Items on the agenda that are not listed as 11 o'clock matters.
Yes, we do. We have in person and online. We will start with in person first. Please state your name, the city you live in, which item you are speaking on, and you will have 1 minute, President, or 2 minutes to speak. County Clerk?
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. I'm speaking on agenda items 18 and 19. These county charter amendments are a power grab by the Alameda County unelected bureaucrats and board of supervisors masquerading as a modernization of recall procedures, which will obliterate the rights of the citizens of Alameda County in a clear effort of election interference. The people of Alameda County have an expressed constitutional right to have their own recall provisions, a power that they've exercised for the past 97 years. California Constitution states in full that the legislature shall provide for recall of local officers. This section does not affect the counties and cities whose charters provide for recall. That's a quote from the law. The 15 elected drafters of the original 1926 county charter, and they were elected as a special group to create the charter, included recall provisions that ensure home rule and local control. A few days before the 1926 county charter approval election, the Alameda County Charter Campaign Committee assured the voters in an October 31st, 1926 Oakland Tribune article that states the charter provides for a recall of any county officers elected or appointed by the voters. Your board is discarding 100% of those local control recall provisions, both substantive and procedural, without careful, deliberative, or impartial analysis. Furthermore, your county administrator, council, county registrar voters, and other appointed officers advising your board are not impartial. They have a vested interest in repealing the existing county charter recall provisions because proposed county charter amendments would repeal the people's power to recall them from their appointed public offices.
Mary, you're on line, you have 2 minutes to speak. Please state which item you're speaking on.
Good morning. I think I missed the public comment section. If I'm allowed to speak now on that, I will. Otherwise, I'll wait until number 13.
You're speaking on item 13?
Actually, no.
Public comment on the agenda?
Yes. Yes, correct.
Okay, we will come back to that later
Yes.
in the meeting. Raquel Grant?
I'm speaking on items number 18 and 19. Your county council's recommendation memorandum to your board dated October 17, 2023 and November 9, 2023 contained incorrect and misleading material. Both proposed charter amendments, item number 18 and 19, would eliminate the ability of the people of Alameda County to recall appointed county offices such as the county administrator, county health officer, county director of public works, county council, and register of voters. There are 14 charter counties in California. The San Francisco City and County Charter also provides for the recall of senior unelected bureaucrats and other appointees. Furthermore, the El Dorado, Placer County, San Francisco, San Mateo, and Santa Clara County charters deviate from the state law when it comes to recall. So, at least 6 charter counties deviate from state recall law. The claim we are alone on an island and different from all other counties is false. The county council misled you into thinking that we are the only county that deviate from the state law. This is false. You cannot count and trust the county council. The board should seek external legal advice concerning these charter amendments. Your county council herself is subject to recall under the existing charter, section 62, read in conjunction with section 17. The proposed charter amendments would eliminate the people's recall power over the county council. Your county council has failed to disclose her personal and/or official interest in removing the people's power to recall her through these proposed amendments. If your board places a charter amendment on the ballot that eliminates the power to recall the county council, then the county council ethically cannot prepare an impartial analysis under Election Code 9160. Your board should engage external counsel to provide impartial legal advice about the proposed charter amendments.
John, you're online, please state which item you're speaking on.
Number 18 and 19, especially 19. Not surprisingly, given the conflict of interest, the county document dated November 9, 2023, titled Proposed Amendment to the County Charter Provisions regarding recall of the county officers frequently asked questions or the facts are not included in these agenda items, but you just included them. That's great. And that I want to emphasize that this is definitely, like the last speaker said, it is a conflict of interest. Any appointed county officer should recuse themselves from this matter. They are conflicted, and you can see that conflict in their recommendations. So I please implore you, do reconsider, taking this to either an external legal source, maybe even, a town hall among, interested parties and the public, and have us all comment on this before you do something egregious like this. Thank you very much.
Robert Gordon.
Morning. My name is Robert Gordon. I'm from Oakland, California. I'm against 19. And one of the reasons is that the people is going to take away their power to call someone. And we see what happens when you take away people's power. The people in power they feel there's no, there's nothing to stop them from doing whatever they do. Another reason I'm here is because I had a board hearing last month, and three of the appointed board members for property tax racially discriminated against me in the same chamber. And when I pointed that out to them, they called the sheriff on me. I didn't cuss, I didn't threaten anyone, but because I brought up what they was doing, they called the sheriff on me. I was dealing with them at the assessor's office, has conspired against me. The clerk office has allegedly, everything allegedly. The clerk office has allegedly tried to intimidate me. So, where do I go for help? Pete Carlson is my supervisor. I will contact his office. But no, I'm against this, because the more power you give people, the more they use it against you. Thank you.
Luann, you're on the line, please state which item you're speaking on.
Number 13 as well as 18 and if you could give me double time there, please.
Go ahead and speak.
Hello?
Go ahead.
I'd like to speak on 2 items. I believe each one receives 2 minutes. Okay, thank you. First, I'll speak on item 13. Good day, Board of Supervisors.
Just to clarify, you have 2 minutes to speak on all items that are on the agenda. That's the rules that we have. You'll have 2 minutes.
And very quickly, 18 and 19, do not move the vote from me and those around me in this county. Work with county council to bring that back home. For 13, Alameda County Public Health purchasing $250,000 worth of more COVID vaccines. This is a medical intervention that has caused more deaths and disabilities than any other medical intervention in history. A no vote is the only prudent and life-saving choice you can make for Alameda County residents due to the overwhelming amount of evidence submitted to the CDC from the California Department of Public Health, expressing alarming rates of breakthrough infections for the vaccinated. These documents and the evidence shows that the vaccine has not stopped infection, has not stopped hospitalization, has not prevented death. In July 2021, the nonprofit of ICANN, through its attorneys, filed a legal demand for any documents received from the CDC, from the California Department of Health relating to these infections. In response, the CDC produced 237 pages which revealed that in March 2021, California Department of Health reached out to CDC for the advice because of the alarming amount of residents of long-term care facilities testing positive just 21 days after their second dose. These individuals, should they be isolated? And the CDC responded with a recommendation that these individuals should be treated as infections, noting that there's an ongoing study of breakthrough infections that involves performing viral culture of these samples. In April of 2021, the CDC reached out to California to call them to a breakthrough study with a call of representatives. On May 11th, 2021, California again raised the alarm, this time with fatal and near fatal COVID infections and fully vaccinated, stated, "We have what we think is an unusual breakthrough account of COVID-19.
Mark Zulin.
Good morning, President. Board of Supervisors. My name is Mark Zulin, Castro Valley. The final sentence of the fact sheets that were provided by County Council, particularly number 7, is a concern. The fact number 9, or number 7, says the intent also that officials seated in appointed positions as defined in Section 17 of the Charter will remain subject to recall, and the amendment established that the state law recall procedure will be applicable and govern the conduct of such a recall. Council fails to disclose that the state recall only acknowledges elected officials or offices. Therefore, to ensure the intent is made crystal clear, a statement could be added expressly to the text of the revised charter, Section 62. Possible language could be officials seated in appointed positions as defined in Section 17 of this charter shall remain subject to recall. State law recall procedures shall be applicable and govern the conduct of such a recall to the greatest extent practical. Without this suggested statement included, we the people have zero faith that the county's council's assumptions will be acknowledged. This is why we the people advise the board this morning that you will pass, or will seek outside counsel to pass the agenda items. So we strongly recommend this. The fundamental problem with the county's council's analysis of the facts is that the state law recall procedures do not cover appointed offices. The state recall statutes are codified in Elections Code 11,000. Carefully note Elections Code 11,007, which states for the purpose of this division of a local officer in elected office of the city, county, school district, community college, and judge reinforces that elected officer distinctions. Please include this in your analysis. Thank you.
Mike, please state the title you're speaking on, you're on the line.
Yeah, I'd like to continue from Luann. We're speaking on 13. So we have what we think is as an unusual breakthrough of an outbreak, of COVID-19 cases, including hospitalized and fatal cases among fully vaccinated residents of assisted living facilities. The summary of the California Department of Physical Health Supply revealed that less than 10 weeks after receiving their second shot, 14 fully vaccinated residents at an assisted living facility with only 50 residents total tested positive for COVID-19. And that by the next month, 26 residents, 25 of whom were fully vaccinated, tested positive, of whom 50 to 60% were symptomatic and 2 died. This was just 2 to 3 months after the residents' second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine in late February. The CDC in public emails at the time emailed back twice the same day describing it as a very concerning situation and setting up a call to discuss while noting breakthroughs were something multiple teams of CDC have been tracking in long-term care facilities. So mind you, this was also during the same period that Dr. Fauci famously claimed that when you get vaccinated, you become a dead end to the virus. And when there are a lot of dead ends around, the virus is not going to go anywhere. And just a few expired, then the then CDC director says, data from the CDC totally suggests that vaccinated people do not carry the virus, don't get sick, and that it's just not in the clinical trials, but it's also in the real world data. But in spite of the truth, the CDC insisted that vaccine breakthrough infections were a rare phenomenon that occurred in only a small fraction of all vaccinated individuals, while internally scheduling meetings with the state health departments so they could share their program data, surveillance strategies, epidemiologists, insights, etc., on COVID vaccine breakthrough cases. Ultimately, 2 years later, after his campaign of a shot in every arm, CDC
The proposed county charter amendments would appeal all existing Section 62 language that concerns appointed officers. The failure of Election Codes 11,000 to provide for recall of appointed office holders at the state level, plus the repeal of all language in County Charter Section 62 concerning appointed officers effectively terminates the authority for the people of Alameda County to recall appointed officers. Therefore, the County Council's answer to frequently asked questions number 7 is false and misleading. County Council has opined that appointees to elected county offices are treated differently than persons elected to those offices. This is why the public does not trust County Council's statement of intent in answering FAQ number 7. The BOS used this legal reasoning to justify your appointment of David Kyle Brown, a commissary of Contra Costa County, to the vacant District 3 board seat on November 16, 2021. Changing county charter would preclude the public from recalling an appointed replacement for an elected officeholder who resigns, retires, or dies mid-term. Your board could appoint a replacement that 99.9% of the electorate loads. Yet the electorate would be powerless to recall the replacement if you push these recommended changes through. We, the people, doubt that the people of Alameda County would knowingly give up such power, and again, this information fails to be explained in County Council's FAQ. The misleading and or prejudicial ballot label / ballot question does not comport with the standards of Election Code 9190.
Catherine, you're on.
Good morning, can you hear? Good morning, can you hear me?
Yes, please state which item you're speaking on.
13 and 19. So it's ironic that you started out by honoring veterans when all of you ignore the war that's going on at home, where you have elections trying to be stolen out from under us from the state. And I'll mind you, you all are responsible for law and order. If you allow the breakdown of law and order, you're going to suffer consequences, because the people ultimately will exercise their right to alter or abolish. On item number 13, I want to make you aware of the fact that the CDC quietly admitted that over 99% of reported COVID deaths were faked. And you all allowed the CDC to hijack our county and to inject poisonous shots in people's arms, and now you're proposing to spend more money on proven bioweapons issued by Pfizer that were actually funded by the Department of Defense, that overrode the need to have FDA clinical trials. None of you in the gallery that run this county for right now have yet to cognize the fact that you have allowed literal bullets to hit county residents, and here you are celebrating veterans. It has been a upsetting, disturbing, disgusting 3 years watching you people deploy some of the most poisonous things that you could deploy on your own family members, your own constituents, and
It's about time that you wake up. We deposited tons of evidence in your office. You need to read what we gave you. And you need to stop allowing the CDC to wage war on your own citizens. Make it a true Veterans Day and do something good for us.
I'm sure Kyle.
This is Hunter Kyle from Alameda, and I'm speaking to items 18 and 19. A lot has been said already about how the conflict of interest, the county council, and the, in terms of this, the proposed change of section 62. I want to emphasize the proposed ballot initiative or ballot measure. The title is confusing and is misleading. It fails to disclose that the charter amendment is also a substantive amendment to repeal the authority of the people of Alameda County to recall appointed county officers. That omission would create prejudice in favor of the measure. Moreover, the county council very likely compared that title in summary with, moreover, the county council very likely compared that title in summary that the county council is among the officers affected by the proposed charter amendment. And there's a similar case with Huntington Beach City Council versus Superior Court in 2002, in which the court sided with challengers and ordered a rewriting of the ballot measure titles. And this can be looked up. But I think it's important to realize, this is a serious matter. We should give them more time to investigate this thoroughly. Thank you.
Kathy, you're online. Can you state the Jackie you're speaking on?
Yes, I'm going to continue reading a document wanting a no vote from the supervisors on spending more of my taxpayer money on illegitimate, illegal, disgusting vaccines for the county. Because ultimately, 2 years later, after its campaign of a shot in every arm, the CDC finally acknowledged in updated guidance that there is no reason to distinguish between the vaccinated and unvaccinated. What? Of course, there's lots of reasons for that. Continuing to do the same thing over and over and hoping for a different result is not only costly, but in this case, deadly. Please vote no on agenda item 13, that this disclosure of the Freedom of Information Act documents between California Public Health and the CDC, you have been put on notice that the prudent choice is to not approve any more funding for the purchase or support of the COVID-19 vaccine. Please listen to us. As a previous speaker noted, we've been giving you facts, yes, facts, from reputable sources. We are not conspiracy theorists. We've been sending you information to use. We've been trying to support you as a board to help support the people of this county. We want you to continue to look at the information we've given you today and in the past that's on the record to help us out, to get back to choices for the rights of the people, as every person in this room this morning is there, exercising their rights for the people. We elected you, we put you there, we need you to represent us. And we need you to do the right and ethical thing. Thank you.
Chris Moore.
Hello, Chris Moore with SAFE, and thank you for letting me speak today. We sent a letter to the fire board yesterday, just outlining SAFE's issues with the FAQs and also other issues with items 18 and 19. Please read that. So the FAQs imply that the county can't operate a recall under the county charter, right? And it's saying it's because it conflicts with the state code. But the second sentence of that same document says that the county charter supersedes state code. So it's misinformation there. This recall is so popular. You know, we could do 100,000 signatures by December if we need to. We only need 73,000. It's extremely popular. The signature will be handed in well before March 5th. The FAQs also indicate that the county cannot perform a recall election under as I mentioned, under the county code, because it says it can. But if you're going to submit signatures, so any change you guys are making to 18 or 19, it doesn't impact this. It doesn't impact it because everything is going to happen prior to that date. So what we ask the board to do, the board of supervisors to do is, one thing, stop confusing the public on this change, right? Focus on giving the ROV funds so they can execute on this. It has to happen. The public wants this to happen. Also, set your 2024 calendar now, so everybody can plan and start planning when this is going to happen. That's very important. So thank you for your time. But please read the letter and so we can support this recall happening under charter. Thank you.
Mary, please state which item you're speaking on. You're on the line.
Good morning. I'm speaking on item number 13. Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Mary Schlarb. I am a Faith in Action East Bay member, and some of you may remember me from CORE, Convocations Organizing for Radio from Union City. We merged with OCO 3 years ago. We represent 250,000 families in Alameda County. I am also a member of the Community Navigators, who represent approximately 40 community groups in Alameda County. For the past 3 years, we have been working in partnership with Alameda County's Public Health Department to do COVID outreach. We were knocking on doors, tabling at locations where our community shop, and everywhere else that we could think of that our folks frequented. As a result, more than 35,000 people received COVID vaccinations. Today, I'm here to ask you to vote to approve the $250,000 additional funding for vaccines. Through our work these past 3 years, we feel more funding is needed, however. We ask that an additional $1 million be funded not only for vaccines, but also for PPE and for bottled water for the unhoused and cities well for vaccines. In the near future, we plan to contact our individual Board of Supervisor elected officials to continue this discussion. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.
My name is Brenda Bruschi, and I'm here once again as one of the primary officers of SAFE. And we are here, we keep coming back to the same issue. You have deemed that the procedures in the recall are unconstitutional, but you don't feel that what you're doing right now is unconstitutional. We went into an agreement in September that we would go by the county code. That is what we plan on doing. As Chris said, we will have the signatures in way ahead of time. We have to pay to get those signatures validated. So we want to use our money to make sure that the voices of Alameda County are heard. We are going to recall Pamela Price. You can interfere all you want to, but in the end, you're going to have to deal with the citizens of Alameda County who elected you to have their best interests at heart. And right now, we don't see it. You hear it from out here, you hear it from the oppose this. You can let this ride until after the recall has arrived. And then you can see how unconstitutional it is. Because right now, I see election interference, and I don't like it.
Julie, you're online, please state which item you're speaking on. Please unmute your mic.
Allison Hayden.
Allison Hayden, Allison for Congress. And I am speaking on items 18, 19, and Bill 13. I want to say that I recognize that this conflict of interest in terms of the county council deciding and putting out guidelines on this recall is very similar to also her or whomever putting together the body for the election commission, which is meant to increase the confidence of the voter. And what it is it's made that commission subject to the board to choose who is going to look over the elections. There is a definite conflict of interest. Just as our original charter was established by an elected, the people elected the people that drew up that charter, and that keeps the power in the hands of the people. We can't have, a circular firing squad. It's not going to happen. We need to bring confidence to the voter, and the way to do that is to retain the power in the electorate as it is. So right now, this proposed county charter amendment will eliminate the power of people to elect the replacement of a recalled elected officer. Under the current charter 62, the people got to elect the replacement at the recall election on October 7th, 2023, the people of California recalled Governor Davis, immediately elected Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Elisa, you're online, please state which item you're speaking on.
I would like to speak to item 13. I would like to vote to approve this. My name is Elisa Sapachi. I'm a wellness outreach and resource coordinator at the East Oakland Collective. We are a Black-led org in East Oakland. I am a lifelong East Oakland community member, and I live within the zip codes, the priority zip codes for the vaccine equity programs that we've been doing. I started out as a community navigator way back when folks were trying to get vaccines during the first rollout, and I'm very proud of the work that I've done, along with people like Mary Schlar, who spoke previously, in our work to get approximately 35,000 folks vaccinated in our community. And when I say folks, I mean BIPOC folks, folks within these red line zip codes that we know have least access to healthcare in general and have the highest poor outcomes from COVID infections, among all the other things that happen in our community. I want to continue to do this work. It's imperative. I know that y'all all met just a few weeks ago and heard from Dr. Rose from Umoja Health, and talked about the state of African American health in Alameda County. And I want to just remind folks that COVID is going to continue to be a problem in our communities, and we must prioritize protecting our most vulnerable. So I'm asking you to please approve this item number, so that we can continue to do the work that we need to do to meet the needs of the folks that are most vulnerable in our communities. I am completely impressed by the work of my colleagues that have continued to be committed to this work, and we need to be in partnership with you all to prioritize us to be able to continue to do this. Thank you.
Deborah Galbert.
I'm a Deborah Galbert resident and voter of Oakland, and speaking on 18 and 19. The board must refrain from hasty actions that would infringe upon the expressed rights of Alameda County citizens. It is crucial to uphold citizens' rights to recall elected and appointed officials. This includes the likes of county health officer or county administrator, should they once again enforce injurious violations akin to those witnessed from 2020 to 2022, such as unlawful shutdowns, mandatory masking without acknowledgement of informed consent, and coerced experimental injections and medical testing as a condition for employment. All of which contravene the Fourth Amendment rights of employees and citizens. The residents of this county adamantly refuse to tolerate further violations of their rights. Any rush decision by county council is viewed as a move rooted in corruption, and this community demands transparency, due process, and respect for individual freedoms. The citizens deserve to retain their rights under existing charter.
Speaker, you're online, please state your name and which item you're speaking on.
Good morning, supervisors. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Alameda Hill. I work with Dr. Donna and with True Vine Ministries. I'm a member of the Community Navigators. You've heard from Elisa and also Mary Schlar, but two of my colleagues. We've worked doing outreach and education, as well as our True Vine Ministries. We hosted a number of vaccination sites in collaboration with Moja and Dr. Rhodes. I just want to speak about the item 13 for the $250,000 that has been up for approval for vaccinations, and that it would only cover 1,600 vaccinations for people. I just want to express the need for more funding and more vaccinations to be available for people. Currently, it's really only covering people who are uninsured or low insured, and there's many other barriers to people getting vaccinations. Transportation is one, especially in the elderly group, people over 65 who have had the highest death rates. Just navigating the system of how to find the vaccination, and most of the things are with the digital divide or online, and we've had a lot of people tell us that they don't even know how to or where to go to get their vaccinations. And so I feel like we need to do more and keep the vaccination clinics open, and especially in areas that have our pharmacy deserts. A lot of pharmacies have closed. So with more outreach and education, I think people will understand why they need to get these vaccinations. A lot of people are just in the dark, especially people who are most vulnerable. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edward Escobar. I'm the founder of Citizens Unite, and speaking on items 18 and 19. We are extremely concerned about the proposed amendment that would change the recall procedures in Alameda County. This affects the democratic rights of residents and the accountability of county officials. This amendment was recently initiated by the county's lawyer, Donna Sigler, who claimed that the current recall rules were outdated and problematic. She said that the county's laws were a detriment to ensuring lawful, competent, and timely recalls. However, many residents and groups, including our coalition, oppose this amendment, calling it a blatant power grab that eliminates the public's rights to recall appointed county officers, including the county administrator, the registrar of voters, and even the county council, Donna Ziegler herself, who are among the highest paid and most powerful local government employees. They are not elected by the people and should not be immune from the people's scrutiny and judgment. One of the groups expressing their outrage is Alameda County Taxpayers Association, whose attorney Jason Bessis said this amendment was much, much more extensive than the county is presenting to the public and overreaching in what they are trying to do. Another group challenging the amendment is a broad coalition of Democratic-aligned groups who call for dismissal of the county registrar of voters, attempting to putting over election integrity concerns, accused of mismanaging the 2020 election, failing to protect voting rights, and violating state law. They demand he be removed from his position and that an independent audit be conducted to ensure the accuracy and security of election results. The coalition includes the Alameda County Council of League of Women Voters, California Common Cause, Open Rising, Smart Justice, and the Prosecutors Alliance of California. This amendment also affects the ongoing recall effort against Pamela Price, an overtly reform-minded district attorney heavily criticized for ethical concerns and her approach to extreme review sentencing. This amendment makes it harder and more expensive for the public to initiate and complete a recall campaign against her or any other elected county official. In conclusion, our coalition for community engagement, the broad-based community roots activism behind the powers to say no to the supervisors, no to recall changes.
Thank you.
My name is Mindy Petchuk. I'm speaking on 18 and 19. I am a candidate for State Assembly 18, and I fully support the recall of Pamela Price. And at this point, I agree very fully with the statements just presented by the previous speaker as to the role of Donna Ziegler and her incompetence in this situation, which you on the Board of Supervisors should pay close attention to, since you do rely on her. Look, Pamela Price is a George Soros DA, and these George Soros DAs across the country have caused great damage and destruction to our country. And anybody who, well, we cannot allow Oakland, my city of Oakland, to be destroyed by Pamela Price. You see the suffering of the citizens of Oakland, who are some of them before you today. And how dare you tolerate somebody who's increasing the crime, killing our citizens, murdering young babies, allowing fentanyl drugs to run loose. She has to be recalled. And what you're doing to this charter, if you allow it to pass, what is being proposed, there's no reason to change what we have. We have to have a right to remove people both who are elected officers and people who are appointed officers. That is our right as citizens of this county, citizens of the United States. So right now, my campaign for State Assembly is going to be making a big deal about the recall of Pamela Price. And my opponent, Niabanta, who supports Pamela Price, is problematic in the state legislature. So you should listen very wisely to the words of the people who are speaking today, because you also are elected.
continue to happen. So we don't have democracy. We don't have a due process. That's why. When the other came around, he said, what did you want to call y'all want? We've been about 5 of them. The corruption has to stop in this world. That's what this is. Wars, killing baby. Anyway, look, it's violent warfare. We're talking you don't need. In 1950, Martin Luther King paid American paid something. I'm trying to make this shit go on. It's not the people. It's the system of the people running this system. It's wrong. It's genocide. Human rights being violated every day out there. He's not a garbage kid. Old folk. Damn shame. I'm serious. It's wrong. Over 6,000 days, they're gonna come out. Well, there's the challenge. Y'all gonna get this. It's the people of America. Now allow these things to go on. The corruption has to stop in this world. The majority who's homeless out of 10 is basic. They fought for this country. They homeless. He's not a garbage can. It's wrong. Come on, now, this is a real problem. The food we eat is garbage. Because you don't pay the farmers right price to grow the food. They ain't doing it. So we eat garbage. Children grown food. It's good. It's the people. We the people got to come together to understand you right. And you right about it for the people. Damn shit. Y'all go for these doctors with bombs.
Chair, you're online. Please state the charge.
Yes, this is. Yeah, thank you. 7 more speakers, and so these will be the last 7 speakers. Okay, thank you very much, my friends on the Board of Supervisors. I would just imagine what it's like to sit in the chair with you there at this particular moment. I know some of the supervisors have traveled overseas. I know that I was on a phone call with some activists in Georgia just this morning as this meeting started, and they asked me what's going on with this attempt to change the charter in Alameda County. And they said that was part of a discussion of activists around the country yesterday. That's where they heard about it. So if I were sitting in one of the chairs up there and I see my friend Keith's not there today, I would seriously think before attempting this Walla Lala Palooza of trying to change the law in midstream on the basis of some legalistic argumentation by people who are shown not to be fully aware of everything they're doing. I would say that it's really, really important for you as a supervisor to put yourself in the shoes of the citizens that you see before you. Because one thing I gotta say about Pamela Price, one thing I have to say in praise of Pamela Price, she has managed in a way that I don't think anyone else has of bringing us all together. She has managed to bring the African American.
I am Virginia Nashia. I want to ask you not to change the recall process and to let it stay as is. Speaking of murdered victims, think of Edward Casillas, David Wynn. Both were not pursued by the DA's office. That's why you don't recognize those names. There's many more that are not being pursued by her. So please, listen, find out, and know that these families in Alameda County are not getting justice. The fact that the murders of Angel and Jazzy Garcia and another family have the same murder, three people this person has killed, and this person will be out by the age of 25 years old. because he's in juvenile court right now. And he's 18, by the way. Manis and Suti Masui, brothers, murdered, 2. The killer will only serve 9 years, but he will not serve those full 9 years. What justice is that for the family that did not receive the justice for 2 lives that were lost in their family? Jared Parvis, murdered. Today, his murder walks free, serving only 2 years in Santa Rita. 2 years. That was it. And he's done. He's out and he's free. Because the DA dropped the charges to a lower, very low, no probation, no strikes, nothing. Please listen to our statements. We would not say them if they're not true. And as for me, I'm still waiting to hear that any of my charges will be dropped from my husband, because they have not told me anything yet, and I'm already going to trial. What justice is that? It's not trial to keep me here like this. So don't be in a rush to change the rules in the middle of this recall. Thank you.
Please state which item you're speaking on.
Hello, I'm speaking on items 18 and 19, and on item 6. Regarding item 6, which is about the public guardian, I would like the supervisors to consider making the public guardian part of the bureaucracy it works with, making it part of behavioral health instead of social services, so that the life and death decisions that the county makes about who will be conserved and what will happen to them will be under somebody who can be held responsible. Furthermore, regarding items 18 and 19, I support them in part because Pamela Price is doing the best she can about the problems I know about, which is that so many of our seriously mentally ill relatives are going to jail and dying there. She is fighting for Maurice Monk's relatives, who was killed by outrageous neglect, as you know, in Santa Rita. Now, my own daughter died of a fentanyl overdose a couple months ago, and it would be ridiculous for me to blame DA Price for that. To hear some people speak, you would expect her to arrest everybody who ever ran around naked in the street or ate out of garbage cans or sold fentanyl or did this or that. Make sure they're all convicted and make sure they have lengthy jail sentences. That doesn't make any sense. What the recall people are asking for doesn't make any sense. It just seems to me to be outrage and pointless revenge that some people are directing in order to make some political point. Thank you very much.
Angela?
First off, the contract with the recall group is set in stone. 2 million, which we're proposing to apply today. It's un-American. It disenfranchises your voters and imposes an advantage. All you're doing is creating more delay, more uncertainty. It's more expensive with the proposal. It's a power play by the US and whoever is behind you. The election process is being interfered with if you vote for these things. You cannot create an ex post facto law. That's what you're trying to do. It would not allow the public to run as a replacement candidate. See, that's interference. Contrary to the contract. It would not allow anyone but you representatives, not your representative, per se. There's plenty of time to verify the signatures. I know, I've been in recalls before. We had 5 that was recalled. Basically, you're telling the voters they don't count. You're telling the citizens here they don't count. However the recall goes, one way or the other, you want to deny that. You want to deny what you already agreed to, county council has agreed to under the charter. People say, you're just giving the public the middle finger. That's what they're doing.
Carl Chan. Carl Chan.
Good morning, Mr. President. My name is Carl Chan. I'm also one of the principal officer for SAFE. And I'm not here only to represent myself. I'm here representing tens and thousands of people who are helping us on this recall. And as you remember, in August 15, I myself, a printer, and many victims' families, and they were here in this building and following the petition. And little that we know, we're actually making history. And according to the information provided, in the last 30 years in our effort, there's no big has been done. So I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, allowing us to speak in front of the supervisors. Again, I want to remind everybody, we'll keep back and follow the instructions provided by the register of voters. And we came in again with the victims' families, and we found the paperwork. Finally, on date September 27 this year, and I received the paperwork directly from the registrar's office, and stating that we are good to go, and they have reviewed all the documents, and they will allow us, and they will be following both this California Election Code and also the County Charter, Section 62. So they will allow us 160 days to provide the total signature of 73,195 signatures. And again, the deadline is giving us March 5th of next year of 24. Now, I just want to say this, we don't want to have this game change in the middle of everything. Almost like a football game, we are changing the rules in the middle of the game. So we are doing our job. So we are asking our supervisors, please do your job, allowing us to have a voice of the people. Again, it's not about protecting the weak, it's about protecting the people, the children, the elderly, the schools, and everyone. So keep safe. Again, everyone stay safe.
My name is George. I'm regretted in Turkey. I heard many people are talking about the price. Actually, this event has been in the process for a long time. This is a very sensitive time of you approve. If you approve item 18 and 19. Because public will be misleading that you want to protect the key to the officer. Public will think you are supporting public advice. This is very dangerous. The value of the rules for the recall should not be changed in the middle of the process. It is not a good time to consider item 18 and 19. Please consider delay to discuss this. Thank you.
Juan. Last speaker, Juan.
Don't.
Sorry, we have to rush down for a press conference. It's like we're seeing the community is coming together, and they're speaking with one voice, and that one voice is very clear. We are not tolerating any more violence, and the violence is unfolding. People are getting hurt. The deaths
are preventable. Pamela Price is charging 2/3 fewer felonies, 2/3 fewer misdemeanors than the historic charge rates. What that means is 2/3 criminals are running loose on the streets to victimize, hurt people. And it's not just people that they're hurting, it's the businesses that are going belly up. Our entire community is hurting. We're coming together, Latinos, Asians, black and white. It doesn't matter the color of your skin when your blood is running red on the streets of Oakland. She's saying she's going upstream to save people. Well, if the streets of Oakland were rivers, it would be overflowing with red, with crime, with blood.
Yeah.
And we are coming together to ask you to support us. The best way you can do to support us is to respect the recall process and the voice of the people. And you need to restore the integrity of the elections, because in the last electoral process, the registered voters called for the wrong candidate, mistakenly had to backtrack. There's no confidence. The people need to be able to course correct when the wrong candidate is in there, so that we don't have to die and suffer, and that the community can continue to progress. So please respect and listen to the voice of the families and the victims, because they are the most impacted, and there are early warning signs. There are canaries in the mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tuấn.
Respect the rule of law. I'm following the rule of law. I do respect that.
The speakers for their comments. We'll be taking up this matter after we come back from closed session. We do have some set items. Supervisor Carlson's not here at the moment, so we'll deliver those set items, that was 37 and 38. And I get a motion on the meet. We will be back as soon as we can. Pick up the other items today. Charlie.
Yep. How have we done? Let's come out. Yep, let's go outside. Meet the press.
You guys could like all here and like
So your plates in Argentina. Do a GoFundMe like everybody else does, right?
Okay, let's meet the press.
There's no reason to change the county charter. There are 6 other counties in California that actually conflict with state law. And it is allowable because county law, county charters trump state law. So there's no reason for us to rush through any changes to the amendment to the charter. What the county is telling you is a big fat lie.
testing, checking levels, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, checking levels, 1, 2, 3. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, checking levels, 1, 2, 3. Check, sound check, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check, 1 2 1 2. Check, 1 2. You good? On sound? Okay, check, 1 2. Oh, I'd like when you speak, guys, gals, you can just get close enough to the microphone. Yeah, well, here, you could, this thing moves. No, 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 not that. No, just.
Didn't we saw the right over there?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah.
Testing.
Do you want me to put it on a thing?
Testing 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, testing 1 2. How's the levels? Check 1 2.
I'm like scared it's gonna fall out of the
Levels
thing.
good? Hello and welcome. We are the Coalition for Community Engagement. I'm Edward Escobar, founder of Citizens Unite and a founding member of the coalition. Today we are here to say how we are extremely concerned about the proposed amendment that would change the recall procedures in Alameda County. This amendment, if passed by the Board of Supervisors, would greatly affect the democratic rights of residents and the accountability of county officials. This amendment was recently initiated by the county's lawyer, Donna Ziegler, who claimed that the current recall rules were outdated and problematic. She said the county's laws were a detriment to ensuring lawful, competent, and timely recalls. However, many residents and groups like ours here today oppose this amendment, calling it a blatant power grab that eliminates the public's right to recall appointed county officers, the county administrator, the registrar of voters, and the county council, Donna Ziegler herself, who are among the highest paid and most powerful local government employees. They are not elected by the people and should not be immune from the people's scrutiny and judgment. One of the other groups expressing their outrage is Alameda County Taxpayers Association, whose attorney Jason Bezos said this amendment was much, much more extensive than the county is presenting to the public and an overreaching in what they are trying to do. This amendment also affects the ongoing recall effort against Pamela Price, the overtly reform-minded district attorney heavily criticized for ethical concerns and her approach to extreme reduced sentencing. This amendment makes it harder and more expensive for the public to initiate and complete a recall campaign against her or any other elected county official. Our Coalition for Community Engagement, the broad-based grassroots community activism movement behind the Pamela Price recall campaign, for all the prior stated reasons, we say no to the Board of Supervisors. No to any recall rule changes. No recall changes. No recall changes. No recall changes. Now today we're going to hear from leaders and members of our coalition and the Recall Pamela Price campaign, as well as victims, families, and their supporters. We have SAFE, the Save Alameda for Everyone, POA, Property Owners Advocacy, Asians Unite, and the Fight for Fairness. So we're going to get started here. Introducing Carl Chan, who is one of the leaders of SAFE.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning. My name is Carl Chan, one of the principal officer for SAFE, and everybody knows about SAFE. SAFE Alameda for Everyone. We call DA Price. So why are we doing this? We all know why. But I just want to give an update about where we are with SAFE and the signature gathering. But before I do that, I want to thank many of you. And I'm here not representing only myself and SAFE, but I'm here representing tens and thousands of people that are supporting our effort. And I still want to remind everybody, on August 15th, we started to file our paperwork to recall Pamela Price. And I was here along with Brenda and many of our victims' families together. And finally, on the date of September 27th, I received the paperwork directly from Register of Voters stating that we are ready to go and we can go ahead and we are allowed to have 160 days to collect 73,195 signatures. And the deadline is March 5th, 2024. But now that the county may be changing the game, changing the rules. So let's face it this way. Let's talk it this way. When we are having a football game, in the middle of football game, they want to change the rules. And this is not right. So we cannot allow that to happen. And we want to protect the democracy and allowing the people and the voters having their voice to recall the people they are not doing their job correctly. So it's important for us working together and making sure that no changes are being made during this recall. And now I want to give you a quick update on where we are. So the required signatures needed will be 73,195. And guess what? And we thought we may be able to achieve that maybe early January or hopefully maybe end of December. But within 5 weeks, we had more than 70,000, basically more than about 75,000 signatures already collected.
Right.
People are screeching. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price. Recall price.
Thank you. But once again, are we stopping here now? No, we have to continue. In order to achieve the number that we may be needing, we have to achieve at least, we want to achieve about 110,000 signatures, if not more. It is important because they need to be verified. We learned it from San Francisco, but also from Los Angeles. So we have to continue our work. So our work will not be stopped from here. Now, people ask, what can we do and how can you help? You guys already tremendous, helping us a lot already. Fundraising and signature gathering is important. I want to thank we have close about 3,000 volunteers in our team. They're signing up and they'll be there supporting us. So I guess what we're going to do. So we'll continue the signature gathering, and what we need our volunteers to do. We'll be combining the fundraising efforts, but also the signing events, but also people and volunteers can pick up the petition form all together. So in each city, we will be at least to host at least 2 fundraiser and also / signature gathering and petition form pickup. So that would be extremely important. So once again, I just want people to understand we're not going to stop here, and we need to continue. We're going to finish our job. And also, we want to making sure that our county supervisors are doing their job as well.
That's right.
Yes.
No change to your job, supervisors. No change to rules.
So no change of the rules in the middle of the game. Right now, what we need to do now is continue our signature gathering effort, but we are outpaced, the work, with our fundraising. So we need support from all of you. So once again, let's do it together. Recall price!
Recall price! Recall price! Recall price! Recall price! Recall price! Recall price!
Okay, now we're going to hear from Brenda Moore, a longtime advocate. I'm sorry. Let me correct that. Now we're going to hear from Brenda Grisham, longtime advocate and a fighting leader for the Recall Pam Price campaign here, and a leader of SAFE.
Very good. Good afternoon. We are here once again in front of the Board of Supervisors office. We are here fighting for the rights of the citizens of Alameda County. Changing the rules in the middle of the game is not what needs to be done.
That's right.
If you say that the recall provisions in our charter unconstitutional, what you're doing is unconstitutional. You're ignoring the rights of the people. You're ignoring the rights of the victims. You're ignoring the rights of all of the citizens of Alameda County. Your job is to protect the citizens.
Yes, ma'am.
There should be no personal interest in doing what's right. Our goal is to have Alameda County safe for every single person that lives here. It's not personal. We are all family. And someone inside said that this is the first time that somebody had brought us together for one common cause. We don't look the same, but we all are here fighting to make a difference. And we need the public. We need you to continue to support our efforts to get signatures. We need you to continue support our efforts to get funds. The fight is not over. We want the registrar voter to do his job. We have to pay It's not free. We have to pay to get those signatures validated.
That's
So if we're paying you, you need to figure out how to do your job. Because we're going to tell you ahead of time so you can get it all together, get your volunteers, pay whoever you need to pay. But we need it done. We need it done decent, and we need it done in order. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brenda. Yeah, recall price, recall price, recall price, recall price, recall price. All right, next up, we're going to hear from Chris Moore, and he is a member of the Coalition Property Owners Advocacy. Chris Moore.
All right, yeah, it's Chris Moore. I'm also with the SAFE team, organizing quite a bit of the grassroots opportunities here in Alameda County. What's the most important thing is something that Carl mentioned earlier today is continue, the grassroots supporters, we love you guys. You guys have been out there helping us to get well over 70,000 signatures. We're going to 110. We need you to keep going to get 110,000 signatures because we're going to blow this out, and we could do it easily. We apologize. We've been running out of signature petitions because there's so much demand. We have the printers running. Everybody wants to sign this. Why? Because Pamela Price has caused all kinds of criminal activity in our town, in our county. If you look at this chart here, and we'll send this to the press after, you can see it was green here. In Oakland, California, crime was declining in January of 2023. It is actually up 50% in Pam Price's words. Crime is off the charts in Alameda County. She says it, she's admits it. It is off the charts because of her policies. Guess what? She can't hire attorneys. She can't hire public defenders even to work for her. She is such a disappointment, so horrible for the DA's office. She can't hire anybody of quality. So criminals are running our streets. That is the problem. Restaurants are going out of business. Folks, if we don't recall Pamela Price, Oakland, California will be a disaster zone next year. There won't be any restaurants. There won't be any small businesses. What is most important, though, is what they're doing upstairs today. They are trying to confuse the public by changing the recall law.
That's right.
Guess what, folks? We are going to have signatures so quickly, we're going to be able to recall her and submit these in January, maybe February. The recall is going to happen in April. What they're doing today, they're trying to confuse you. They're trying to confuse the public. Ignore what they're doing up here because it's not going to matter. Pamela Price is going to be recalled. And we're going to make it happen. SAFE is going to make it happen. The community is going to make it happen. And please go to recallpamelaprice.org. Click the donate button up in the right side. $10, anything. Help us finish getting these signatures. So recallpamelaprice.org. Go to that site, donate, help us out, and we can get rid of this person in our office. Yes! Thank you.
Let's talk about election integrity.
Okay. Next, we're going to hear from Lori Mose. She is the mother of a victim, and she will basically tell you about the fight and what we're facing and the experience of being a victim and not being supported here in Alameda County by our DA. Shameful. All right, thank you. Here's Lori Mose.
Good morning. It's been a while since I've been out in public. This weekend, this Saturday, will mark 7 months that my son has been dead. Week 30 is today, and we count every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 2:13, when my son was murdered, we relive the event over and over and over again daily in our lives. And having to fight against a DA that won't even speak to me, won't even acknowledge my son's life or death is appalling. We're not allowed to properly grieve. We're not allowed to do anything but fight for justice for our child. Now that I've become more educated in my child's case, let me tell you what the murderer is facing under Pamela Price's kingdom. In a real world with a proper DA and proper legal action towards a murderer, my son's murderer would face robbery, would face murder, would face death and discharge with a firearm. Instead, what she gets is use. Now, what some of you may not know is my son died from a 2-inch hole put in his heart at 12 inches. So pretty much the distance of this microphone. She shot my child after chasing him down like a beast. Pamela Price believes that just murder and possession of a gun, which by the way was a ghost gun, is acceptable, 20 years. If the proper charges were executed on my child's case, it would be life in prison. And if the death penalty came back, she would die, just like my child died. Now, I'm not asking for death. I don't believe in that. But I do believe in giving Naps the ability for restorative time in jail, behind bars, serving her proper sentence per the law. Not to be able to go up for probation in 20 years and run the streets to kill somebody else. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in my child's death actually being charged properly and then allowing us to move on, right? Fight for some other families that need some assistance like Brenda does all the time. But instead I'm in this recall because of ridiculous charges and lies by Pamela Price. She refuses to talk to us. She refuses to meet us. She keeps us in the dark. We have to get outside legal help to understand what's happening in our own case because she won't let her district attorney tell us the truth. Now, let me just say that my DA on the case, Mr. McGarvey, is phenomenal. I am not against my prosecutor. He's great. I'm against his boss, who determines everything. She is the final charging of all crimes in this county. People should rest in that. So if your child is killed, she gets to pick how the murderer gets handled while we bury our child and figure out how to move on. But she gets the final say, and if you let somebody like Pamela Price sit on this, she's gonna ruin all of our lives, not just ours. Because our life is gone. Our child is gone. And to have to fight for the right thing is unacceptable. But I'm happy to pack her up with some Home Depot boxes. I'll ship them to her personally because she's not staying. And I refuse to allow this community to stay in darkness by what she's doing. And everyone should have truth. Everyone.
Justice!
Justice!
Justice! Shame on you, Price! Shame on you, Pamela Price! Justice for the victim!
Recall Price! 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 All right, next we're going to hear from Tuan No. He is the founder of Asians Unite.
What you see here today is the community coming together. We are coming together to join the mothers, the volunteers that have experienced the consequence of crime firsthand. They know more than anybody the impact of violence and crime in our community. They have lost loved ones, and they are the reasons why we are here, to support them and to prevent the pains that they and their family experience from happening to others in the community, because these deaths are preventable. These crimes are preventable because these murderers that Pam Price is letting loose are serial killers. They kill people in Fremont, in Hayward, in Berkeley, and yet Pam Price lets them loose to kill other people. So this is something that affects us all. Sooner or later, the crime and the thieves and the theft and all the violence and robberies will come knocking at your door, if not your neighbor's doors. So thank you for joining these mothers to do this heroic lift to set history and to recall a district attorney that has failed in her job to protect the public. We have still more to go because 73,000 signatures is not enough. From our experience, we know that we need to collect more signatures. We need to get more donations to drive this campaign home. So your support of these mothers, these volunteers, and the community is still crucially important. Visit our website to donate, recallpamelaprice.org. The other thing that I like everybody to know that Pamela Price doesn't want the public to know is that Pamela Price is charging 2/3 less charges than the historic rate for felonies and misdemeanors. What that means is Pamela Price is letting 2/3 of the criminals loose on the unsuspecting public to victimize and to harm people. That's you, your families, your loved one, your safety that is at risk. Join the community, join the Latinos, the Asians, the black and brown folks, the white folks, regardless of the color of your skin. When they shoot you and stabbed you and robbed you, your blood will run red. Join the community as one voice. Speak together against crime and violence that is preventable. Recall Pamela Price. Recall Pamela Price. Recall Pamela Price.
Recall Pamela Price. Recall Pamela Price. Recall Pamela Price. All right, we're going to hear from Francisco Acosta, and he's going to speak to you on the issues as a concerned citizen in Alameda County. Francisco Acosta.
Of the media here.
Morning. My name is Francisco Acosta, and I'm here to tell you that we are all coming together to ask for the recall of Pamela Price because we all know, we've been feeling actually in our homes that it's not safe. And she knows that. Just watch how she gets to a point whenever she has a conference. There is a huge police presence. There is a huge security detail that's protecting her. Why? Because she knows that the environment that she has created is not safe for anybody, even for her that's protecting them. My community, the Hispanic community, they are all afraid to go out, even during the day. They are afraid to walk on the streets because a lot of them don't have credit card and they carry cash, and they know they are going to be an easy target to be robbed. And the way things are right now, I mean, if you're a crook, you make more money than any one of us, because as long as you steal less than $1,000 a day, you make a huge living and you don't get processed. It's just a misdemeanor. You know, that's not right for the working class, for us that care about our neighborhood. I was asked to say a few things in Spanish for our Spanish voters, which I'm going to do now. Mi nombre es Francisco Acosta y estoy aquí para apoyar que despidamos a la fiscal del distrito, Pamela Price. Pido la ayuda de todos los votantes, o si no eres votante y conoce a alguien que sea votante en el condado de Alameda, que firmen la petición para despedir a la fiscal del distrito, para que podamos hacer nuestras calles un lugar digno de que nuestras familias puedan caminar, donde se sientan seguras, donde no tengan miedo de ser asaltados o de ser muertos, de ser asesinados, porque esto ya es demasiado. La fiscal del distrito tiene que ser despedida y tenemos que poner a alguien que haga su trabajo como debe ser. Gracias. Thank you.
Good job.
All right, recall Price, recall Price, recall Price, recall Price. All right, we're going to hear from Jackie Coda with Itaka.
Thank you very much. My name is Jackie Coda, and I am with the Election Integrity Team of Alameda County, California, itaka.org. We are actually a team of diverse individuals from all sorts of different walks of life that have been working on election integrity. These amendments that the county is proposing, the county council are proposing, are absolutely unfallible. They do not They do not have to be pushed right now. County Council is saying that it has to push these amendments because they are unconstitutional. That is a fabrication of the truth. Even in their FAQs, number 7, it's misleading. They say they want to follow the state charter. That's fine, but the state charter doesn't allow for a removal of appointed individuals, such as county administrator, ROV, county health officer, county administrator. This is very, very important because the elected people back in 1926 who wrote our charter wrote an article in the Oakland Tribune in 1926 on October 31st that said, assured the people that they were given the opportunity to remove appointed individuals. Item number 7 in the FAQs say that we'll just follow state law and it'll be just fine. We'll be able to do it. That's a lie. State law does not allow for appointed individuals to be recalled. That is why we need to retain this. There are 6 other counties in the state of California that conflict with state law, and that's fine because the state law says county law trumps state law. Them saying that they don't have the ability to go through the signatures in 10 days, that's another lie. They only have to verify a sample of signatures. So county council, who is subject to recall, is fabricating the truth in their FAQs, and we will not stand for it. If this comes up on the ballot in March to to amend county charter, vote no. Vote no. This is election interference, and we will not stand for it. Thank you.
Recall
Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. All right, next we're gonna hear from a victim's mother, Rachel Barrera.
Hi. On June 17th, 2022, my son Isaiah Castillo was murdered in Fremont, California at the busiest intersection on a Friday night. He was shot 2 times in the back of the head, once in the back of the neck, and 2 times in the back of the chest. He didn't know his killers. They didn't know him. Prior to that, they had committed 2 carjackings, and they were in a stolen vehicle when they went after my son in his silver Mercedes. It could have been anyone's 22-year-old. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. The same people that murdered my son are the people that are involved with the 2 Berkeley brothers that were killed at the house party, Angel and Jazzy. And they're also involved with the 30-year-old Reinhardt that was murdered in Hayward, I believe. These 4 juveniles, since they're juveniles, they will not be tried as adults. And they confessed. They all confessed. They all made statements in the police station, and they have pink cell phones. They have camera lights at the intersection. And I was told by Christina O, the juvenile district attorney, that if it makes me feel any better, that they believe the shooter moved out of the county, and she was offering me counseling. I've called the DA twice, every day, and I've left her an email once a day for about a year after my son's death, and I received nothing back from her at all. Not one thing, not one explanation. Fremont police have tried to go to the district attorney so they can file over 6 times, and they haven't filed anything with no explanation. And this could be your kid. I never thought in a million years that I'd be standing here. There's some days I don't even shower. I say it was the love of my life. And Pamela Price does not care about us at all.
Shame on you, Price.
Do some research. She's Soros funded. Really do some research on this woman, and you'll see. And you could just sit back and say it doesn't affect you. I never even used to vote because it didn't affect me. And I'll tell you one thing, it hit home. And it's going to happen to every single person that think you wouldn't believe what this feeling feels like. And it's a shame that I had to meet some amazing people this way, but it's even worse that no one cares. That she just doesn't care. There's no reason or explanation, and her life goes on.
Shame on you,
Why
Price.
mine was torn from me.
Shame.
Thank you. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Next, we're going to hear from Allison Hayden, a concerned citizen.
Hi, you know, what the mom just said about voting them out, that's the problem. We have problems with the voting, and this Board of Supervisors is where the buck stops. The machines have been found, there's evidence across the country of Dominion machines and how the votes can be switched. Now, we are trying in Alameda County, Itaka, I'm a member of, Jackie chairs our group. We are trying to get integrity into our systems, election systems. It stops with the Board of Supervisors. They were going to put together a commission, but that commission, they're going to decide who's going to be on that commission. And that commission's going to report to them. So there is no outside any confidence that the voter can have what we need, just like our charter was established by the election, a special election where the people decided who would be creating the charter for the people. We need a special election to decide who should be on the election commission in order to keep our elections clean. It cannot be decided by the Board of Supervisors and reporting to the Board of Supervisors. We have no confidence. The only way we can vote these people out, I'm sorry, but Donna Ziegler is putting her head on the chopping block with her action. The county administrator who oversees all of this, Susan Marinesci, the people need to start examining. Look at the report card for Alameda County. We are crime-ridden. We have fentanyl deaths, kids dropping, and they're applauding themselves on their great service. So we need to take our vote back, and I implore all of you to take action, sign petitions to recall, actually, Pamela Price, fund this move, and fund all of the citizens' movements. Thank you.
All right, we have Mark here, a concerned citizen.
Good afternoon, citizens of Alameda County. Every city, every town is affected by this. My name is Mark Zulum. I'm an Oaktown boy, born and raised. My family has been here for over 125 years. I spoke to my mother, who still lives here in Oakland, my family, some of the first settlers who came here. We are a mixed family. And I call you to action as citizens to stand up against this injustice. We must recall Price. We are not finished. We need to support SAFE. I'm here to speak out, to say I have personally been a victim of crime. My family here in Oakland, East Bay. I don't want to go into all the details. Thank God none of us have been murdered, but we are suffering, and we need to support this effort. We need to support SAFE. Call to action to all the citizens. Stand up for righteousness. Yes. Stand up for justice.
Yes.
For the victims, but also the future victims, because if we don't turn this around, this is going to get worse. Yes. Shame on the Board of Supervisors. Yes. Shame on the attorney for Alameda County for what they're doing. Some of this is a lie, and we need to stand up against it. Call to action. Vote. Come. Stand up. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. Recall Price. All right, so obviously you see that there is a lot of pain here, and this has to stop. And the safe way to do it is save Alameda for everyone. Alameda County needs to be saved because we have elected officials that are not doing their job, and we have to call them out.
Yes.
And when they do not stand for the citizens, for the community, for the residents, people are dying. Businesses are dying. Our communities are dying. This is unacceptable, and we will not stand for this. We will stand together. Si se puede, yes we can make a difference. Si se puede, si se puede, si se puede. Thank you for joining us here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you. Are you working?
last week.
You know, the policies are not working. We need to have metrics. There's no studies to show how this helps. And in fact, I have looked at Oakland's violence prevention program. We only, every year, we dump $28 million into it, but we have no metrics, no transparency. There's no, when we look at the difference of whether these programs help youth, in fact, there's no difference in felonies, new arrests,
But those
gun
programs
offenses.
are different than what the DA's office does. Right, those are the DA office charging by violence prevention program.
The DA actually, part of the diversion program is things to also help break crime and actually improve programs that are effective in changing lives of people. So one of the programs takes justice impact youths and employs them by providing them jobs to pick up trash, to pick up and camera prices into that program. That program and that was a program that was helping back around those camera prices. Supposedly wanted to help, but canceled without how the folks were implementing the program. And so now we have youths who were being helped who are not helped.
It starts with the pledge. And that's not what's happening right now. She's disconnected. She feels it's her way or the highway. She refuses to pivot. She refuses to listen. She takes a few in. And she just keeps the same tired response.
So, we might 12 hours. It was fast. And I wouldn't trade this for any.
Đây là mẹ của người nạn nhân.
Allowed me to connect with other victims' families that I would have never had. I have people that understand what I'm going through. Before the complaint was filed, to follow the recommendations of the DA's office, to follow the recommendations of the Sheriff's Department and the Flood Control Department, a proper charging. She failed all of that. She could have shut me up by charging properly. She didn't. I pity her. Because